Hi friends. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn these store-bought leeks into this luscious, long, green, flavorful leeks that you can harvest again and again. Leeks don't just belong in soup. They belong on your windowsill, growing, regenerating, feeding you forever. Today, I'll show you how to regrow leeks indoors from grocery store scraps, even if you've only got a dim corner window. Leeks are one of the easiest veggies to regrow. They're cold-tolerant, low-light friendly, and regrow fast from nothing but water. First things first, why grow leeks? Well, leeks are one of the easiest veggies to regrow at home. They'll regrow multiple times before you eventually have to regrow them again from the roots. You can make those roots produce delicious flavor time and time again. Plus, they add depth and richness to soups, stir-fries, and broths, without overpowering other flavors. So let's get started. What will you need to regrow leeks? A fresh grocery store leek, a clean glass or jar, fresh water, and a window that receives at least some sunlight or bright indirect light. Step 1. Cut the leek about 2 inches above the root base. Step 2. Place the root end in a shallow jar with just enough water to cover the base. And speaking of planting them, if you don't have a window that gets enough light, you can actually skip this next part where we put them in the window and go straight to the section where I show you how to plant them in soil. Step 3. Put it near a window. Place the water every 2 to 3 days. By day 3, you'll see green regrowth. By day 7 to 10, the top shoots are ready to clip or plant into soil for long-term growth. All you have to do is stick the grocery store scraps in a jar of water and change the water every couple of days. Place the water every 2 to 3 days to prevent mold and bacteria growth. So this is what my leek would look like if I had harvested the tops after just 1 week. And as you can see, the top shoots are ready to clip or plant into soil for long-term growth. Next, let's talk about harvesting your overgrown leek greens. It's pretty simple. Just use a sharp knife or pruners and trim the greens as needed. But if you're working with just 1 leek, you're going to have to be a little bit more generous with how much you cut off the top, because obviously you're going to want to eat or use those greens somehow. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that you can actually clip the greens to encourage bushier growth. Now let's talk about how to use your freshly grown leek greens. You can toss them right into eggs, risotto, soups, or even stir-fries. And if you want to get fancy, you can them as a base for anything savory. Now, I know that most people probably throw away those dark brown roots, or maybe chop them up and throw them into something like a soup or a stew. Because not only are you wasting food, but there's plenty of life left in those roots. You can make those roots produce delicious flavor time and time again. I promise it's easier than it looks, and the results are so worth it. Finally, let's troubleshoot. What do you do if something goes wrong while you're regrowing your leeks? First, if the water looks cloudy, just change it more often. Second, if nothing happens after 5 days, your leek might not be fresh enough, or maybe the greens were chopped too finely and are getting in the way of the regrowth. Third, if the tops look weak and scrappy, more light will help, but they can still grow in lower light. Just be patient because it will take longer. I like to leave space in my jar, so I can easily fish the roots out to replant them later if I want to. Also optional is a shallow planter in soil if you want to plant them in earth instead of keeping them in a jar. And then eventually, out of those dark brown roots, you'll start to see green regrowth, which is so cool. And with a little bit of care and attention, you can make them regenerate and feed you forever. Oh, and if you want more zero-waste grocery hacks, I've got a free guide, Grow 5 Herbs in a Cup. No backyard, no excuses. The link is below. Your windowsill is your new garden. Bye. All right, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you give growing leeks a try.